It's Monday, so I have a little bit of a science thing for you. And today, I'm going to show you a little something about sound. But why do I have a bowl of water? Well, I'm going to drop this in. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Oh, actually, I was going to drop the rock in, but I don't know if you can see when the drop from my finger goes into the water. It makes like a little wave from the center out and stretches out. Now I'm thinking that most of you have thrown little pebbles into the water before, and when you do, same thing. You see where the rock hit, and then there are like these circles of waves that go out, out, out. And that's how sound is. Sound is in a wave, and it travels sort of the same way as what you saw with the water. The closer you are to a sound, the closer the waves are together. And so right now, talking to my phone, and it's pretty close by, so my sound waves are close together. But if I were talking to my neighbor over there, and I was talking just in the same voice, well, the sound waves are close together right here, but they start to spread out. So the farther away that person is, the farther the waves are spread out, and they can't hear me as well. And so it almost sounds like I'm not talking very loudly, when I probably am, talking a regular voice. And I have a book from our library, an old book, that shows you sound waves, how they work, and how they move. So, like, say this could be me right here, and the sound is close together, and it's bouncing, and if they're right here next to me, they can hear me, but as it goes farther away, it gets quieter. So I want you to do something. Well, no, before we do that, let's just close our eyes for a minute and think about what we hear. I hear a lot of things. I'm out here. And I close my eyes because then I concentrate more. And I hear a car, and you probably hear these things too. I hear the wind. I was hearing paper rustling before because it's windy. And birds, of course. So now I'm going to cover my ears. No rocket science there. Cover my ears. And I could still hear the wind because it's pretty windy today, and I could hear birds. But what was kind of funny is, all that was muffled. I couldn't hear it very well, and I could hear my hands pushing on my ears in a way, like, I don't know, maybe my muscles were moving or something when I was pushing, and I could hear that. So give that a try and see. Or sometimes I know people do this and the sound goes off and on and off and on, and that can be annoying or fun depending on your mood. I have another book that is in our library, so if you ever want to borrow it. It's called You Can't Taste a Pickle with Your Ears by Harriet Ziefert. And I lost my page. Oh dear. And now I hear more sound, right? You hear that truck? A lot of people working around here. It says, cover your ears. Your ears pick up sound from sound waves that travel through the air. You need your ears and your brain to hear. Remember what the eyes and your ears your eyes and your brain work together? I mean, that makes sense, right? You use your two ears to hear. Your ears hear sounds all the time, and you can usually tell where sound is coming from. Even if you cover your ears, some of the sound gets through. When you uncover them, you hear lots of different sounds, and sometimes it almost sounds louder. And they have a little poem here. Horns are honking, beep, beep, bam. cars are stuck in a traffic jam. Early in the morning, an alarm rings. A sleepyhead yawns, a daddy sings. What's the sound behind the door? I think it's Granny starting to snore. All day long on Maple Street, big dogs bark and small birds tweet. When you know the notes to sing, you can hum most anything. Ooh, I sang that poorly. Say excuse me when you burp. When you're eating soup, please do not slurp. Thump thump. Mommy, come and see. A dinosaur is chasing me. I'm not sure what this has to do with sound, but I guess something. What can you hear? What sound does your body make? So like if you're hungry, it's grumbly, or if you have a cough, sometimes you can hear that. What sounds can you make? Can you make noise with your hands? Obviously. Lots of things you could do. I have no shoes on, so I'm stomping my feet. Can you hear that? With your tongue? With your lips? With your whole body? Well, I don't know. You give that a try. Do you ever pretend whenever you get angry, you pretend you can't hear people? How do you sound when you're happy? So make some happy sounds right now. And what sounds from the world outside are coming through your window right now, which we already talked about. And so I forgot to say who the publisher is, and it's Blue Apple Books that published this book. So there's a lot of different things in here about that. So I just wanted to show you real quick. I made, they called it a deer ear, and it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. It's supposed to, so deer, you know, they have those big ears and they move, right, with the sound. Have you ever noticed that? If you haven't, maybe you can go on the internet with somebody, an adult, and find pictures of deer. And if you Google about their ears do move. And dogs do too, other animals. And they're finding that sound. So I tried it before, and it kind of works. And I have my trusty cereal box that I'm always using. And of course I could trim it, but what I was experimenting with was if it tunnels the sound. So I'm gonna plug this in. And actually I couldn't hear it before. I can hear my son talking to my husband in the house. So I guess they kind of do work. And all I did was, I just took a piece of, well, I took my, I took my my cereal box and opened it up. And I made it into a cone. And I taped it, that's all. And then I did, oops, I folded it and I cut it, shoop, shoop, made a hole. Then you can put it on, plug one ear, and see if you hear anything different than you were before. And the cardboard works better than the regular paper. And I betcha. So this is thicker paper. So if I did that, I bet this would even have a different, it would probably capture a different sound. So why do you think that is? Do you think maybe the outside of this might block out more of the other sound and tunnel it into here, the sound into here, and then it's gonna go right into my ear so I can hear better? So give it a try. See what you have around the house that you can make a cone out of, and I'll show you. I just take the two corners and sort of cross my hands over each other. Whoop. And wow, it's harder to do when I cross my hands over each other and it makes a cone. And then I folded it and cut it. So give it a try. And I just want to note that color moves in wavelengths also. And one year with my students, we actually wrote a song and played a song using color and sound waves, because also the closer the waves, the higher the frequency. So if I'm singing all really fast and high like that, it's going to be the sound waves, as you can see them, are really close together. But if I sing low, the sound waves, even though I'm loud, are going to be a little farther apart because it's lower and almost like slower, so you can think of it that way. All right, so maybe look into that. I'm sorry, I copied them off the internet earlier. So think about sound and how sound moves, and experiment with the way you're listening or hearing people today. Or you could use your hands. All right, have a good night.